All right, we're back again, and I figure since I work early Saturdays, I didn't want to wait till like 11 or midnight to come back on. Just looking around different streams and comments on forums and stuff like that. I thought before we got into the manual entry part of it, might be nice to go through some things that maybe people new to Action PC might be forgetting. So Dave Gardner did a really good stream. I haven't seen Ron Juckets, but I know that Ron or Dave did. And so Dave, what he likes to say is, he says, "I know you're supposed to try to break a game." He says, "But I like to try to. I just want to play the game the way Dave wants to, meaning himself, not Dave Cook." So I'm not sure. I jumped into Dave's stream after I got dinner and everything, and he wasn't seeing the scoreboard and thing like that, like where it's showing top bottom of the first. So definitely we'll go through those things. Not that Dave is a newbie, he's not. But one thing I do want to show, because he didn't know how to do, it seems, was importing ballparks and things like that from like an earlier version to now. Also, maybe we're going to go through a couple boring things, but then over here I have, or off screen, I have Stratomatic or Stratmax ready to go, and I think we'll put this through its paces as far as input. Now, what I would say, and I don't know. I mean, I think that Steve Tate, Andrew, and some others. I know Andrew who comes here, Andrew RW. He's a beta tester also for Action PC Baseball. Um, the sense that I'm getting, and I could very well be wrong, is that the manual entry is a way to kind of have a way to play your board game out here. Now, will it track stats and stuff? I think that's going to be a long-term project that we're going to have to try. Since I don't primarily play cards and dice baseball, that's not going to be something high on my list. But we will see whether it does. Not with this, because I really want to play this as a project, 1971. But I'll install another season, and we'll play with that. I don't know that it will do what Pocket Pennant Run does, which will save everything. Dave did note something that I didn't. So thank you, Dave Gardner, for pointing this out. So one of the big strengths of Action PC Baseball is that you can see what the batter did his last time up. Well, that seems to only work inside the Action PC engine. So that might be something that I hope that they will fix, because I know, just even with Pocket Pennant Run, I know a lot of people pick on that game, but many more love it. Um, you do at least see what the batter did his last time at bat. I believe the Digital Diamond does the same thing. So that's something really crucial that Action PC needs to add. But that being said, I think this is the best release of Action PC Baseball ever. And for me, not so much because of the manual entry, although I think that's cool. But for me, it's the legacy mode, and it's having Coach GM right there, rules and all these things. But the legacy mode is awesome. This is going to feel like a lot more like playing out of the park baseball, and having all the Coach GM settings and deeper manager settings per player. The scoreboard looks great. I think this is a great release. Everybody's going to differ, everybody's going to differ on this. I mean, I would be, I guess for a few things in life, like Kate Beckinsale, two of the three Godfather movies, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I think that if, for most things, if they get universal acclaim, I'm a little bit skeptical. So, but I think the reviews are generally, or the first looks, I should say, are generally positive. I don't think anybody can say, and Dave Gardner was very clear that he wasn't doing review. There was a user said, a great review, Dave, and he said, this isn't a review. This is a first look. As what I'm doing, I mean, I think really, if you're going to review a game, there's a guy that I subscribe to, his name Mortismal Gaming. Welcome in, Raise Hot Wheels and Jack Dawson. Yeah, I think that is going to be fixed. Race Hot Wheels here says it'd be surprising if not fixed with an update manual entry. And welcome back, Barbara, our whirlwind, and of course, brother Jack Dawson. Yeah, I think that, and that's going to be something that's, how that's working. To me, that's not a big deal. I think that, again, so if you think outside the box, and if you're using manual entry, and you're using using it along with Legacy. Imagine that. So this is the only game that you can do that with. All right, we're now maybe Digital Diamond, okay, but I'm talking about for games that you have to buy seasons for. All right, so if you're rolling forward, so let's say I would decide to go ahead and play all through 1971 and then just see what Legacy does. I'm going to pick another season to do that. We'll do that maybe tomorrow night. Maybe I'll put in 1910 or something, just to because I want to test, how many rounds you need and rookies and things like that. Hey, Dave. Yeah, first day. Yeah, it will get and Dave, like I was saying, the only thing I was going to address from yours, and I just don't want to keep typing, is just the import function. So I know ballparks can be a weird thing in action PC baseball, but hopefully I can clear that bit up. But I think with manual entry, guys, if you combine it, guys and gal, I'm sorry, Barbara, it's just I'm stoked that you're here. So, guys in Whirlwind, we're going to do it that way. Um, Imagine using legacy mode. Now, for a lot of people, right? I mean, having that legacy mode moving forward, that will still work with that manual entry. I have Strat Max off to the side. I'm going to bring up Apago, and we're also going to bring up Pocket Pennant Run, and we're going to hopefully run through at least a few innings of a game, using each of those and rolling dice. Hey, Jeff Ray, fellow Bucko fan. Good to see you. Well, Barbara, you're one of the guys. You're the best looking one of us all. You're one of the guys, and you are the only whirlwind here. So you are the community's official whirlwind. So I thought it would be really fun. Maybe we'll even like bring up another digital game like Diamond Mine Baseball, because Diamond Mine Baseball can have some weird plays, and there is a way you can handle weird plays in this with manual entry, and it's similar to Pocket Pennant Run. But Dave Gardner brings up a good point, and so I encourage you to go look at his first look. It was excellent. I didn't see Ron Juckets yet. I will catch that over the weekend. But Dave did a really good job, and not shy about pointing out what he is looking forward to in the game. And so Dave's focus, Dave, I hopefully this is fair to say, and I want to try to get my comments out of the way. I know you said you needed to work tomorrow, and you're not one of the newbies I'm referring to. I was reading some stuff in the forums, and people didn't know how to do some super basic things with this game. So I just want to go over directory structures and stuff before we get into more pretty things. But so Dave is looking for this because he plays cards and dice sports games. You guys have seen him play baseball. He calls himself a casual baseball fan. I think he's a pretty damn good baseball fan. He just doesn't want to admit it. It's a good marketing ploy, Dave, and I'm proud of you. Musician to musician. Um, so his focus is strongly going to be in manual entry. And I think for a lot of people, they're looking at this and saying, is this a viable alternative for me? And why I'm hoping the DK Sports will continue to develop that is this is a damn fine baseball game. And it might be just enough that if people who play almost exclusively or exclusively cards and dice say, you know what, let me try this baseball game's engine. You're going to find that you've been ignoring an extremely this game to me is only marginally, tiny bit second to out of the park baseball. Out of the park baseball has some big things that this doesn't, but this does some things that out of the park doesn't. So these two games are really interchangeable. They're both S tier games, right? But for me, the legacy mode is really, really super exciting. I love it. I love the fact I love some of the quality of life stuff that's going on too. I keep stressing this, having Coach GM right there, all ready to go for you. I mean, I think that's right there. That's just absolutely incredible. But what you can do, you're just 1-2 clicks away from everything, and then going into rosters and being able to manage at the player level with more options than ever before. I think is going to make any project that you do. It's going to be even more meaningful. But like here, like if we go into Atlanta and we go into Cleet Boyer, so let's bring up Cleet Boyer here. Cleet Boyer. There we go. And I go to manager. So When I'm dealing with, see what I can do here now with Boyer as far as his offense and defense. There are way more choices now. So, you'll have instances in projects where you'll have a guy that is slower than a beer truck stealing bases. You can fix that. Yeah. Hey, how about it? So Andrew, just talking about you, Andrew, one of the beta testers. Andrew, to me, man, this is the best edition of Action PC Baseball yet. And I'm not saying that because you're a beta tester. Steve Tate was. I sincerely, um, I am so happy with this release. But yeah, busy night. Everybody bouncing around and doing some Action PC Baseball. Um, I just love how everything you're getting so much more, just so much more information, and this has been going on just incrementally through the years, and to be able to, just look at a player's usage and stuff, and this is for anybody. If I'm largely addressing this now to people who haven't played or never played Action PC Baseball, or we have some people in the community that haven't played Action PC Baseball since like 2021 or 2022. There's lots of things in this great game that you're missing. Um, and I would say give it some time. I had this idea about player ratings, and I don't know whether this would be a workaround. From what I'm seeing, so unlike Digital Diamond Baseball, you cannot put in the ratings, your board game ratings for players. So you like if you're playing Pocket Pennant Run, you can't put in A, B, C, D. If you're playing History Maker Baseball, you can't put in natively here that they're a superstar or whatever. But I'm wondering if, as a kind of weird workaround, Steve Tate showed us how these notes and what he did for the Negro League players that he created, 400 Negro League players with major league equivalencies that will allow them to play now in right on a level playing field, if you pardon the expression, but it's true. He used this notes function, and so I'm wondering if, let's say you're playing, and I'm just making these up as I go along, but let's say Sonny Jackson in History Maker Baseball is a, I don't know, maybe he's a sad sack. I don't play the game, so maybe he's a sad sack, a semi-star, or a whiffer. Boom, boom, boom. You could put those ratings in here. Maybe in Pocket Pennant Run, he's a BBAC. You could put it in there. So maybe you can check these players. So that might be a workaround. Andrew, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot at all, Andrew, but I think Andrew and Steve Tate could probably speak to that. And I would also encourage, and I'm going to do the same thing, just to write to Dave and say, this is an amazing beginning. Is there a way that we can show board game settings on the field? Because that would be ideal as other games. Well, specifically Digital Diamond Baseball does that. So if I go into Pocket Pennant Run, it's not going to show strat ratings. It's just for rolling the dice and then doing the plays. And that's what you're doing in here. Now, the difference is, and so what we're not sure is how this is going to track stats if you're reusing this, if this is a full-blown board game companion, the way Pocket Pennant Run and Digital Diamond Baseball, both of those are full-blown board game companions. Now, if you look on the ad copy for this game, right, DK Sports asks, do you occasionally like to play baseball board games? Now, anything can be lost in translation when it comes to text, but I read that as saying, hey, you can kind of play your games, but it does talk about tracking stats. So we're going to see, but I did want to mention something that Dave Gardner brought up and saw. So when you're in a game of Action PC Baseball, it will, player notes is a good start, right? To get them to show up in the screen would be great. Yeah, I mean, I agree. So I'm just trying to think of a workaround for guys. And that was something that I think was very, very important for Dwayne Martz. For David Baseball Demos, he just wanted to see if the play plays out, and it does. It doesn't play out. So there's the three modes. Like, so I have all three checked here. If you look here, if I go to rules and I go to manual entry, I have all three of these. Now, what I might want to do is uncheck, um, I don't know, whatever, because this Action PC mode, I'm not sure if ME is right, so allowed, start games with ME, right, ME checked. So this says that the user only selects the play results and the game engine will generate base advancements, additional errors, rare play, and more, right? So rare play variations and more. The user will be given base coaching decision options during the play. So it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, hey, Arnold, it's been a while since I've seen you. It seems to me that the Action PC mode is kind of a way to merge the engine as well as just doing strictly manual entry. So a fun experiment might be to turn off Action PC mode. The reason I'm talking about all this is because in game, when you're playing Action PC baseball, one of the great strengths of the game is you can hover over the batter and see what he did in his last at bat. Dave Gardner discovered that in manual entry, it does not do that. So that's something I think that could be easily fixed. So, and Andrew says he never used that. Are you talking about that function in Action PC of seeing what a batter did last time? Because I always use it. And that's something I wish Out of the Park baseball would add. And it doesn't. Now, that being said, if you look on the scoreboard, the game will show you whether the play was an Action PC engine play or if it was a manual entry play. So, at the top in the line score in game, it will show that. So it seems to me that shouldn't be a very much of a stretch. That if since the scoreboard knows what it's doing, you should be able to have that functionality. So I'm glad that Dave saw that. But there was a user in Dave's channel that's arguing it was a bug. It wasn't. It's not a bug. It's not a bug. This is new, and so I think that there's still going to be some features that have to be added. And even if it is a bug, it's not something that's going to break the game. Oh, the engine manual blend. You've never used this. Okay, I just leave it both checked. Um, just because. But again, just got the game tonight. We might turn it off and just leave these two on and see what happens. So Jeff said, missed the first few minutes. Have you done import of players using ratings? I bought the $5 version, knowing I was not going to get the new one just for manual input. Oh, you mean the basic version? Okay, he has it for $5. The basic game. Holy hell. So I haven't done, all I've done is just imported past projects. In fact, I'm going to take Andrew, I'm going to turn off Action PC mode and we'll save that for now. We'll see what happens in game in a minute. Okay. So, I don't know, Jeff, we'll try something here. We'll try some things. Couple hours. All right. But first, okay. So Andrew says he manually entered 3 innings, zoomed 3 innings. The previous at bats were only shown for the zoom. Okay. So what's interesting about that is if you hover over the line score over the scoreboard itself, it will show either ME, and if it doesn't say ME, then it was something that was done in game in Action PC Baseball. So if the scoreboard is recognizing that, then it seems to me that it shouldn't be a stretch to even put in that when you hover over that, and it just like so. Let's say, for instance, Ron Santos last time up in a game, hypothetical game we've been playing, that he grounded to short. Then right, so he's up again. So let's say he did that in the second inning. Now it's the fourth inning. Santos up, and if you would hover over, it would say ME to tell you that it was a manual entry. Ground ball, 6-3 or whatever, grounded to short. But then you would be just trying it with the engine, and then he comes up in the sixth inning, and then you would see just grounded or whatever he did, fly ball to left or whatever. So the game is at least partially recognizing that. So that's why I think that it won't be a stretch, but I think it's a great addition. I'm happy to see Action PC do this. I think it's smart, just as it's really smart that now it has a legacy mode, because now it's going to play more like Out of the Park Baseball, which is a great career engine. This one, as everybody knows, this was really for projects, but single season stuff. So you really couldn't advance with this game, advance through the years. Now you can, and I like it, and it is the ultimate kind of, or it's the logical next step to the alternate reality mode. So that does shake things up a little bit, and I think actually makes things a little bit more realistic. All right, for anybody that's new and you have an older edition of Action PC Baseball, when you install this thing, the first thing, the very first thing that you should do, especially if you have projects in an older version, is go up to import. And what you're going to do is you're going to import everything. So let's just say I want to do team colors, nicknames, and logos. So I'm just going to click that. Okay. So right now it's right in my DK Sports data, and as long as you're doing that DK Sports data, let's say I would go to seasons, and I would open that, and I had that specific season open here, then all I would have to do is just just go in that folder and install from there. Okay, it's the same thing. If you go to import, let's go to park information. Um, Ballparks are still weird in this game because they reside in a different directory. Okay, so you can see here that we're in baseball 2026. So all you've got to do to bring in your ballparks, okay, is just double click on program files x86. You would get down here and find whatever version you have. So the ones I still have installed here are 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. My earlier versions I have on my Google Drive just because I like to save them. But let's go back to 2025, open it, right? And then I can just, and let's say I want park layouts, park photo assignments, general park information, ballpark factors, click import, and it's done. And then you have all your ballparks. So there's Milwaukee, I've already imported logos, everything. But this is super, 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 super important. There is a thing here, right? So for team colors, because imagine you were playing Action PC 2024. I mean that Atlanta and Cincinnati game likes to keep popping up because I'm clicking on it somewhere. You do all this work and then you get into the next version of the game and you don't know about this little import feature up here, and you're like, oh my god, now I've got to go back. What the hell am I clicking on? It's making me do that. Must be going to the last game played or something. I don't know. Let me try if I click here. Okay, no, that's good. That's at least working. All right. Looks like it's going to that game because it was the first one played. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Right. So would you want to go back and assign ballparks and photos and everything like that? You're not going to want to do that, right? Legacy mode, I hate to admit you didn't get to experiment much. This is one of the last items added to the beta. So I haven't either. That's going to be for tomorrow or sometime this weekend, Andrew. But if it does what I think it's going to do, that's a function that Out of the Park Baseball has had since, I don't know, maybe Out of the Park 10 or something like that. So that's been in Out of the Park for quite a while. What's been relatively new to Out of the Park has been a dedicated strict replay mode. That was a recent addition. But this legacy mode, I think, is going to be really cool. And the fact Dave's doing a cool thing. So this is a game that does not offer all the seasons like Out of the Park Baseball does. So I think it's really cool that Dave is allowing to, let's say, again, if we were doing this 1971 season, and let's say I didn't own that. I do, but let's pretend I don't. 1972. We can play this out and have it roll to 1972, and then you're gonna be getting the 1972 season, and you can just keep playing. Steve Tate played, and Roberto Clemente actually played through to 1974. So it's not going to necessarily repeat baseball history, but rather you're going to see you'll see if you set it up for historical rookies to come in, it will. So whoever was going to, rookie in 1972, that player will come in. But the retirement model is working on the aging model that's contained within the game. Now, that being said, if you started in 1936, I don't think you're going to have Lou Gehrig playing still in 1971. But I'm excited to try the legacy mode. I want to do it just in a season that I didn't set up to do as a project. And I want to do it in like one of the dead ball seasons where I'm really familiar with, okay, who was a rookie, who were the rookies in 1911 or 1912. So that's why I don't want to do it with this, because strange as it may seem, I'm more familiar with who were rookies in 1912 than I would be who were rookies in, say, 2012. Pretty sad, I know, right? Um, the I talked about the directory structures already. So your DK Sports data, every year when you get this game, just just install to the default location. I tried one time. I'm thinking, well, I'm going to install the game on my C drive because your DK Sports data directory will blow up. It's huge. Mine's Bernie's is like, and Bernie's is like 20 gigabytes. Mine isn't that large, but it's pretty sick. So if I go to my DK Sports data directory, yeah, so I'm not anywhere near Bernie, but still, that's 4.65 gigabytes right there, just in this thing, in the baseball directory, right? So pretty crazy. As a matter of fact, yeah. So there we go. So Bernie's, I don't know where Bernie. Oh, his stuff, 45 gigs for him, partially too, Bernie, because you were playing. Okay, you downloaded it and you can't install it. All right, so let's figure out why. John, welcome in. Let's figure out why. DK, how you doing? He says, thanks for showing this off. Is there an option during manual entry to flag a defensive play as great or bad? I'm thinking it would be a perfect way to track range checks. I think it's a great idea. I haven't seen that, but we are going to run through a game here in a little bit. So if it's a Friday night, for most of you guys, this is my Thursday night, but for Friday night, yeah, settle in. And we're going to go over some basics here with Action PC, because this happens every year. All right, so John, there's a 6-second delay here between when I'm talking and you hear me. So when you try to install the game, it's Saturday morning for DK. So you're over in Germany, I'm guessing, or Denmark. Denmark is the DK for Denmark. You in Denmark? I didn't mean Germany, Denmark. Jesus, I'm from there, lived there, not Denmark, but Europe. So happy Saturday morning, John. John, let me know we'll get you through this. You'll be able to install the game, I promise you. Okay, let's see what's going on. So just take some time, type into chat what you're seeing, and we'll work through it. Okay, this family is all about helping. It's about community. It's about getting going. Malaysia, okay, because I thought the DK, I thought, hey man, all right, Malaysia, I'd love to visit there. Much better weather than we have. So welcome in. We got a baseball fan in Malaysia. I love it, man. Love it, love it, love it. So all your data pretty much resides in DK Sports Data Baseball. Not all of it, though. That's the tricky bit. That's the tricky bit. So like, when you go to ballparks, for instance, okay, so there's all the pictures, but these ballparks, that's what these are just the pictures. Okay. And I know that Bernie and Steve, you guys got me whooped in ballparks. I don't have near as many ballparks as you guys do. But I have enough for my purposes for right now. But your ballpark data, that data, and this is going to sound like a grammatic mistake, but it isn't. That data do not, but we'll be incorrect to sound correct. That data doesn't exist in this directory. It actually exists in your main DK Sports directory. So if we go back there, and let's go to program files, x86, and then we go down to, or we go to baseball 2026. You always have to make the, yeah, so there you go. There's where the park layouts all live, and these parks. So when I did that import of parks, these are the two files that I have to import, or else all you've got is just pictures. Okay. First thing, John, is if the games, if Windows is giving you a false positive and saying Windows protected your PC, just click more info, click run anyway. It has to do with the installer. But this thing, I've been playing Action PC since 2017, and starting getting that error, I think, in 2021. It's just there's something in the installer that Windows is just giving you a false positive. That's the first thing. Also, if you're make sure that you're installing, just follow everything in default, and it should work for you. But let me know. All right, so now we've gone over directory structure, all that kind of stuff. Had the same problem, just installed McAfee. So the other thing that you can do, John, is you can whitelist Action PC on your antivirus program. And McAfee sucks. So I'm just going to stay straight up. It's even worse than Norton. I don't use either. I use Windows Defender and just kind of responsible web usage, and you'll be fine. But McAfee gives all kinds of false positives, so that's another thing you can do. So great to see you, Aaron. Man of 1,000 voices. The other thing that trips people up is how to get to homebrew seasons and how zip files work. Except in one case, in Action PC Baseball, you never, ever, ever have to unzip the season files, ever. Unless you're buying a collection like the Complete 19th Century, then you have to unzip those. So if we go back in to our directory structure here, and I promise we're going to get to a game here in a couple minutes, just bear with me. I want to, just help out some new folks here. Okay. So if we go into our DK Sports data directory, right, we're so used to seeing zip files. And when I've seen people say, oh, I bought this season and it doesn't work, right? And I'll say, well, did you unzip the file? And they'll say yes. And I'll say, that's why it doesn't work. So you can see all these seasons here. These are all zips. And the one thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to unzip these things. You want the game to do it. All right. Because when it unzips the file, it still preserves. It serves two functions, probably more, but it preserves that season that you bought. But the other thing that it also does is it puts everything where it's supposed to go. So imagine, right, if you were going to unzip the 1980 season here, or whatever season, my eyes are really bad, whatever season that is, 1990, right? Would if you don't know, you could say, oh yeah, this goes here, just unzip the files. It's going to unzip them, and then that baseball cab file, which is a Windows file, is going to be looking where these things are supposed to be, and it's not going to find them. So don't unzip files unless it's something like a collection. So like the 19th century, or let's say you're buying all the seasons from 1900 to 1949. You unzip that main file, and then it creates, right, it unzips all the zip files in it, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Okay. So what you get when you download the file, can you help me on confirm? Okay, that just means it's still downloading. So there's a lot of people, and this also, John, happens every year with Action PC Baseball. People are hitting it, and they're trying to download it, and it's crapping out on them. Okay. So, and what version of the game did you buy? Did you buy the basic, the deluxe, the super deluxe? And Mick here helping us out here. He says the game will also make fixes to season files through the software when the game installs the season file from the zip file. Exactly. So that is another reason why you never ever want to unzip season files. Just don't. Okay. So unconfirmed file. So, John, the first thing you do is find that file, look at its properties, and I can tell you the size of what the file should be. And if they're not matching, that means that the game just didn't finish downloading. Maybe a lot of people are hitting it right now. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I think it's just crapping out. Just keep trying. And it took mine a while tonight to download. I mean, and I have fast internet, but so this is a 110 megabyte file, but I see this every year. People are hitting when they hit Action PC, It happened to me 2 years ago. I kept getting unconfirmed file. Went on the forums, and they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, everybody was hitting it all at the same time." So that's all that's going on for right now. How many ballparks do I have? Hey, Ian, welcome in. Not as many as Bernie. Let me see. How many ballparks do I have for Action PC Baseball? I need more. Oh, you can never have enough ballparks. You can't. You can't. Let me see. How many do I have? So we take a little detour here. I am the Rube Waddell of the community, not in terms of pitching prowess, but in terms of easily distracted. So let me see. This tells me that I have 7. Oh my God, my eyes. I think 754 ballparks. 754 ballparks is what I have in my little Action PC collection. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But Bernie just reminding us everybody's downloading the file tonight. So yeah, mine took about 7 minutes to download. And usually 110 meg file is nothing. Boom. But Dave's hosting this on his own servers or wherever he's hosting this thing. And there's a lot of people. As Bernie reminds us occasionally, this is the second most played digital baseball game. So it's second only to Out of the Park Baseball. So just be patient, gents. It's coming. Michael Peterson, welcome in, man. Good to see you again. He says, okay, yeah, so you're not, it's unconfirmed 125342. Yeah, I think it just hasn't finished downloading is all. You might want to check. I think other people are having the same thing. He says, Michael here giving you some reassurances. So I got mine downloaded, getting nervous, got downloaded in 10 minutes. Just be patient, guys. So we have two other people here saying it's going to take, even though the game is a small, right, in terms of its size, that initial the setup file, everybody's hitting it right now. All right. Mark Sean, Facebook Action PC. Yeah. So I see Mark's pictures all the time, every day. I love them all. I just haven't had time to download them. And Andrew, you've been in here before. I play mostly older baseball. So I've got at least all the old baseball parks that I want and enough to cover everything. But I will eventually get like Bernie and get them all, or every ones I can. And Steve, it's looking to open in WordPad. That's because your file isn't complete. It's not recognizing it as an executable file. Okay, that's what's happening right now. Unless there's some bug that people are talking about, longtime users. I that happened to me 1 year on. Oh, this should be done, and I hit it, and it was trying to find an application to open it. So, what you might want to do, John, is just get rid of whatever was downloaded there, and just try again. Okay. Yeah, and the download file is a zip file that will unzip, and then it will just run from that unzip, if it makes sense. Okay. I think the hardest part of Action PC Baseball is just really getting things set up into where you want them to be. And so, last thing we'll talk about here really quickly is ballparks, because ballparks mess everybody up. So when you go to ballparks, you have park data and park layouts. So we'll go to park layouts first. And park layouts is kind of like just what it says in the tin. This is where you're setting up all your ballparks, click, drag, setting fence heights, things like that. But this is only half the story. So unlike a game like Out of the Park Baseball, where you can just do everything you want with the parks right in the same place, in Action PC, you can't do that. So I have like there are all these parks, all my parks. So however many I said, 700 and something. So I'm going to click on one I don't think I've done. Oh no, I did do that. Did I do this one? No. So if I were to set this ballpark up right now, and these are from right? Gary Grigsby, who is a huge baseball fan. Even if I set this up, right, this this has nothing to do, like the game doesn't know that Crosley Field is supposed to be assigned to the Cincinnati Reds. It doesn't know that. Okay. So that's why you have to go to then, after you set up your ballparks, whatever ballparks you need. And by the way, you can set up ballparks in game, but this is where you go to park data. So park data is where you're actually assigning ballparks that you're doing ballpark effects, things like that. So that's where you're going. So see if I'm clicking on Braves Field, for instance. So it's showing, you can pick whatever picture you want from over here to be your day photo, your night photo, and you can also use an alternate photo. This is where you're going to want to look for park effects. And this is encyclopedic in nature. And maybe you're playing a 1969 replay, but you want to, have things in 1930. You want the park factors for that old park in 1930. You can do that. So this is where you assign parks, as far as which park you're going to use. So again, for Braves Field 1, maybe I want to, pick a different picture for Braves Field 1. So just remember that park data and park layouts are two, right? They're two components that eventually lead you. Yeah, I'm going to X without saving because I really didn't do anything. That will then lead you into this. So this is how I got through River Stadium. So I assigned the team to the park, right? By modifying, So by modifying the team, okay, assign team to park. While I'm here, I'm giving you guys a lot of information. The two here that have asterisks, don't touch those. Just assign a team to a park and assign a team to a year. But you don't want to, in fact, they even give you a warning about this. So don't use them. Okay, so ballparks really trickiest thing to deal with in action PC baseball. If you get down ballparks down, you're pretty much good to go, man. All right. Let's click OK. All right. So Jeffrey says took many minutes for the download to complete. Beatles just recommended is what worked for me. Yep, just hang in. So Andrew says got Mike Silva's old ones plus another fell in Island Park for Dead Ball 19th century. Yeah, the Jazz Age parks. Those are great. They were in the screenshot through ChatGPT. More recently, Google Gemini. Yeah, to upgrade. If Dave Gardner's still hanging out. Fought with the parks too. We used to know what you were doing. Parks are a pain in the ass, but once you get used to them, if you guys want, here really quickly, let's pick. I'm just going to install a season really quickly, and let's mess around because it's one thing for me to show you here, but let me show you by installing another season. Okay, so let's install a season, and this will give me a chance to talk about another thing, installing seasons, because even Steve Tate got caught out on this one. So if you download homebrews from APC community or wherever, if I look through here and I'm looking for Steve Tate's files, like the NL Greats, AL Greats, I'm not seeing them. Always make sure, whether you're looking for those things or not, to display all zip files, and then it's going to show you everything in your Action PC directory. Okay, so let's pick a season that I know I've never really messed with. Let's pick 1985, and let's install the 1985 season. And it takes a minute or two. There, it's installed. So there we are. It's going to switch up here. And now 1985 is installed. Okay. So she just installed. Yes. Yeah. No. So you're not going to. No. So listen, John, install it to program x86, but do not install it over the old game. Just let it default to program files x86, and it will create a directory in there called baseball 2026. It's not going to override your old game. Okay. So make sure that you're installing and C program files parentheses x86, nothing after it. Let it just leave the defaults where they are. And yeah, so Ian says is doing the logos, uniforms, and others very time consuming. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be, well, it'll create the directory, Bernie. That's what I did. Just leaving it default, it created baseball 2026. It will just do it. Yeah, so right, it's not going to override. All right, let's see here if any of these are um I'm trying to find a team here that maybe something's messed up here, something. Maybe I need to go to an old one. You know what? I'm not going to play this season, the 1985 season. So let's go to Philadelphia. All right, so we can see here when you get a see when you purchase this season from Dave Cook Sports, if you just mouse over where the ballpark is, it's going to tell you Veterans Stadium. So now I need to remember Veterans Stadium, but let's say I want to change that picture of Veterans Stadium. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to ballparks. This is the way. This is my workflow. I go to park layouts. I'm going to get down here and I'm going to look for Veteran Stadium. There's a little trick, and anywhere that you can type, if you click in there, Control V, it will go and start typing. It will go to like Veteran Stadium. So let's see. Here's Veteran Stadium Night, which isn't set up. That's the one. Yeah, none of these are set up. So there's Old Veteran Stadium. That's not set up. Let's set it up. Let's show you how to set up a ballpark. So you usually see a mess like this, right? Or like there's Veteran Stadium from Gary Grigsby. This one almost looks ready to play. Let's find one that's really messy. Okay. Okay, that's kind of messy. I'm trying to find something that's really dreadful looking though. There. This is dreadful. You would not want to play with this. And you're looking here and you're saying, wait, on deck home and grandstands and catchers and grandstand first base. Oh my God, I'm going to have to drag all this stuff. Well, there's a real quick thing that you can do. Okay, so then you import the other seasons. Yeah, you can. You just go to import, John, just import and go down through that whole import list, managers, logos, ballpark layouts, all that stuff. Import everything that's in there, and it will automatically just make sure, though, like for some things, the things that import from the DK Sports data, you're fine. But the ballpark stuff, just make sure that you're going up a directory. So if you're bringing in your park data, park layouts from Action PC 2025, you've got to go to the Baseball 2025 directory for that. But anything that's DK Sports data, just click on whatever season that you're doing that's active, click on it. It will import all your assignments. Bob's your uncle. Okay. But the seasons, as Bernie said, are there, but the assignments, I always import those. Okay. Yep. Yep, exactly. Andrew, you already got me, brother. It's reset labels. And here's all you do, guys. Boom. So it's going to reset labels. And what it's going to do is it's going to already place all your grandstands. And you're pretty much halfway home. And now all this about is just dragging things down. And, you know, a nice rule of thumb, if you want to, is just, you know, for when you're placing fielders, just look at the picture. All right. And, you know, there we go. There are the bases. All right. So this looks like this third baseman. Let's just put the third baseman maybe about just right here. This is more for aesthetics. Okay. And it really is, because you could have these guys, you could have your first baseman up there. If it's a single, the single will go up there, but the runner's going to stop at first. But, all right, let's get our first baseman on there. Catcher here. And all you're doing is clicking and dragging. Don't let go of the mouse. Don't worry about precision. The game will handle that. I am a little bit anal. I like to try to get them close. On deck home, on deck road. If you're playing old-timey baseball, then, of course, you can switch these, because usually the home dugout was along the third base line. All right. Then this is pretty easy. The negative is the bottom of your fence. The positive is your top of your fence, and usually left field should go as near to the foul pole as it should be. This is something where I think you just put on music, or you do a broadcast and you just make ballparks. Okay, get as close as you want. The game's pretty good at it. The one thing that you will notice is Fenway Park is always weird. Any park with a high park with a high thing like a League Park in Cleveland, the old League Park, or Fenway Park, you're gonna see just sometimes some weird things, and you just got to deal with it. But that's not a bug. It's just the way this works. All right. See. Anyhow, we're doing this, and so I'm taking this time because I want people to really, really feel comfortable with ballparks because they're not that bad once you get going with them. Okay, we're actually almost done with this one. And you wouldn't want to do them all at once, but the reset labels is such a great trick. Okay, um, so this ballpark's ready to play. It is ready to play, and I can save it now. We're going to remember that this is Veterans Night. Only thing you have to remember now is this file name, okay? And by the way, yes, you can move the scoreboard around if you want. I never do. I like it right where it is. All right, so Veterans Night, so let's save. Now let's go back to Philadelphia, or let's go to Park Data, okay? Because we know that Philadelphia is Veteran Stadium, all right? So now if we go to ballparks, Park Data, and if I go to Veteran Stadium, and you can see you can put in a bunch of your own parks too. So don't feel that you're right. And then we're just going to look for that Veterans Stadium that we just did. Um, and again, Bob's your uncle, right? And then that picture assignment will change. So it's all you have to remember is just that photo. But just to show you understand why this works, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make Riverfront. I'm actually going to make this into, well, let's make it really weird. Let's not make it Riverfront. Let's make it old Roosevelt Stadium. Okay. Now all of a sudden the Phillies are going to be playing in Roosevelt Stadium, right? But the game doesn't know that. Do you see when I mouse over this? It still says Veteran Stadium. So that's what makes ballparks I think one of the things that makes ballparks confusing. People will mouse over that, and usually new players, right? They'll see the default park or the neutral park, right? And wait a minute, neutral park. I cited Veteran Stadium. You actually didn't do it. All right, so let's put this back to Veteran Stadium. All right, so if we modify team, all right, now people get confused and say, but wait a minute, there's Veteran Stadium. Why isn't that Veteran Stadium? It's because of the assignment in ballpark data, right? Park data is what you've got to is what you've got to set. All right. So let's just find us a Veteran Stadium, whatever, and through all this rabbiting now, I have forgotten which one it is. So let's just there we go. I believe it was it this one we did? I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm just going to pick one just so that you can see. Um, is this the one we did? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Doesn't really matter, I guess. Let's just pick that one. And if we click right, and then we just remember to sign it. And you can use different pictures for day, night, and alternate, but I just do them all the same. I don't care. Save. Now, if we go back to Philadelphia again, now we're not in Roosevelt Park. We actually have Veterans Stadium. So that's how you work with ballparks. Yes, and as Bernie says, every year's program gets the data from the DK Sports data folder. So don't ever move it. You're fine. So that's ballparks. All right, now let's get into what we were going to do here. Oh, by the way, new feature too, right? The playoff, you can do playoffs now, like with one click. So the playoff bracket was always here, but you can actually play an entire, like, just one season you can knock through if you would want to. Don't know why you'd want to, but some people want to do it in one click. All right, so here we are in 1985. Let's mess around with legacy mode. I said I was going to do it with an older station, but let's play. Let's play with it now. Let's play with it now. So we click legacy. All right. So let's add rookies from 1986. And then let's go ahead and roll on to the new year. Boom. The season has not been completed. Okay, so we should actually complete the season. Um, but it's going to go ahead and do what it's got to do anyhow. And it's not going to affect your zip file. So you're not going to lose anything. Okay. And I probably should have completed the season, but that's okay. That's all right. Let's let it do what it's doing. Pirates 57 104 1985. Good God. There's the ultimate challenge. Take the 85 Pittsburgh Pirates and bring them to first place. Okay. So here we go. All right. The new season is ready. So we click OK. And it's ready to go. So there's all right. There's all the everything, the draft, the whole thing. And you could just go. That's pretty much legacy mode. I mean, it's such a quick demo. We'll do an in-depth demo Saturday or Sunday night, but that's the way it works. So when we click, so if we would have completed our season, we would have been able to see the entire draft and everything and how it would go, because it actually treats it like a draft, if that makes any sense. Okay. All right. So the other thing I've already shown. Now let's play a game. Let's play a game for a few minutes. Let's run it through its paces. No, 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 no. You're not installing the game. So let me show you again, John. Just don't press anything. Just watch the screen, buddy. Let me show you where the game should be installed. It will create the DK Sports data by itself. Okay. It will do that. So, and the people that are typing, you're going to see their message before you're going to hear my voice. So when you install the game, you click that. It looks like, let me show it to you here. I know my desktop's a mess, but it is what it is. Down here in the lower right corner, this guy right here, it's a zip file that contains all the setup directories. So when you double click that, it's going to ask you, it's just leave everything at default. And that default directory is going to be program files x86, right? And where it's gonna create this directory during the setup process, John, that is baseball 2026. You can see I have 3 other versions right here, 23, 24, and 25. So it's just going to create this. Just let it create it there. It's going to create all the directories you need. There's your executable file, which I always pin mine to my taskbars, and I have 24, 25, and 26 in the taskbar right now. So it just goes right there. And if I were to double click this, exit this and double click this, it's just going to start it right up. Okay. Your manuals, mod PDFs are in here and stuff like that. If you put it in the DK Sports directory, my friend, it's not going to the game might execute, but it's not going to find what it needs. And one of the most important things that it needs is this. There's a baseball. It's like a cab file in here somewhere. Okay. So yeah, so Bernie just says no, like many minutes later here. Not many minutes, but quite a few seconds later. Okay. So the main game directory goes here, and it will create in any seasons that you buy, right? So if we go back here again to install season, all right, seasons can go in 2 different places. So when you buy the game, so right here you can see there's baseball 2025. That's the only season in this game that I don't or I didn't have. No worries, Bernie. I appreciate you. So I bought this because I wanted, I really, really wanted. Now I didn't do the stadium package. There's a sound package in here, whatever. I already had 1916, 19, whatever that is, 1915, 1997. But I just like to buy the extra money. But if I look in seasons folder, boom, then and displaying all the zip files. There's really where you want everything to be. And at some point, I'll move 2025 over here because I would like to mess around with the 2025 postseason because I thought it was great. Okay. So just knowing that directory structure will make a big deal. Okay. Notice up here now, this says Legacy League. So the Legacy thing already took place. So whoever would have been rookies coming in to 1986 are going to be somewhere in this league. I'm not going to go look for them, but they're here. So this is showing how the new feature works. You would have never seen this before this year. And you can keep playing. So if let's say we completed this, then it's going to go, I'm guessing it's going to number 1985 3, 1985 4, and so on and so forth. So theoretically, and if this is like Action PC base or Out of Park Baseball, and we would have to test that, is we should see this progress through the years in much the way that Out of the Park Baseball does it. Difference being is that Out of the Park Baseball has all of the seasons, so it's going to be able to, whatever recalc settings or whatever you're using in that game. Okay, those rookies are still going to come in. But here, you've got the rookies that will come in, but it's going to use the game's engine to determine, shaking things up, that player's trajectory, which I think is super, super cool. So, good stuff. All right. So what I have over here is Strat Max. So what we're going to do in Strat Max is we're going to play an exhibition game here in our Legacy League. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to set up the lineups exactly the same. Whatever Strat Max comes up with, we're going to set those lineups in Action PC Baseball, and we're going to do a game in manual entry. I'm also going to probably at some point during the game, let's say, all right, let's see how it does with Appa Go. Let's see how it does with Pocket Pennant Run, and then maybe another digital game just for fun, just to see what it can throw at it. And maybe we'll bring up like Digital Diamond or not Digital Diamond, Diamond Mind, Dombrov, whatever. Okay, so it's going to be the great experiment. Let's see if it can get stymied. All right. So first things first, my friends. Pick two teams for me, please, on the strat screen. So we're going to be playing 1985, and let's play a day game because we're all looking for the daylight anyhow. Let's turn off designated hitter because that's a rule here. Even if we play an American League squad, I don't give a shit. Okay, let's get a visitor team. Let's go back to 1985, right? 85 in Strat Max, and certainly not the Pittsburgh Pirates. Good Lord. What do you guys think about Dodgers Cardinals? Let's do a Dodgers Cardinals game. Okay. So we will be the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah. All right. So we're going to have Joaquin Andujar starting for us. And then the 1985 Dodgers. Okay. And Fernando Valenzuela. Boink. Okay, now I need to leave I need to refer to these two lineups. So again, the idea is we're going to roll the game as if we're playing Strat Cards and Dice because Baseball Max is Strat Cards and Dice, and then we're going to enter the plays in Action PC Baseball using the new manual entry feature. Okay, and I do want these to be the same. Bedtime for Andrew. All right. Andrew, thank you. And thank you for being a beta tester, for doing all these awesome things. And we've missed you around the community, buddy. Good to see you. Always a member of this family. You know you're always welcome. Haven't seen you in a while, bud. So everybody, some shout out to Andrew for his beta testing, his hard work on Action PC Baseball 2026, baby. All right. So hopefully it's good enough for you guys. I'm not actually rolling analog dice, but I'll show you the the die results if you want or not. I mean, or you can just trust me. I am a magician, which means I'm very, very trustworthy. Very trustworthy indeed. And we get a game out of it, if nothing else. All right. All right. Barbara wishing Andrew a good night. She says good sleeps and be safe. And when you get that wish from the whirlwind, better eat it, right? Okay. So 1985, let's go to exhibition. And we're going to set up the same things here as we have over here. Yeah. So Cardinals versus the Dodgers. So St. Louis and Los Angeles. Boom. And since I'm managing the Cardinals, that'll be fine. Day game. And we're playing this at Dodger Stadium, of course. Let's play. And now we're going to set lineups. Okay. And I'm gonna right now have these both for human so that I can set these lineups exactly as they are in StratMax. Okay. So let's go ahead and play. And let's set our lineups, starting with batters. So Ozzie Smith leading off. This is the boring part. Go get chips, go get popcorn, go get a drink, whatever. Normally I don't do this. But you know, let's just test it all the way through. Probably easier. Yes, I know I can sort. I've been playing this game for a little while now. Willie McGee batting third. Let's find Jack Clark. He's going to be down here. Okay. Cesar Cedeno. So the computer manager is really smart at creating lineups. You can create your own lineups and save them. But because we're putting this through a direct test, I want to make sure that's what's coming up in Baseball Max is coming up in Action PC Baseball. Seems to make sense. Andy Van Slyke before he came to the Pittsburgh Pirates. There he is. Terry Pendleton. And Tom Nieto. And Joaquin Andujar. Okay. Now we have to go to Los Angeles and just do what we just did. So we know we're starting Valenzuela. So let's just go there. Boop. There we go. All right. Steve Sachs leading off. Ken Landro. Get in there, Mr. Landro. Pedro Guerrero. I wish the scrolly thing works on this, but it still doesn't, which kind of sucks. But that's okay. All right. Mike Marshall in the cleanup spot. Okay. Greg Brock. And I don't have my headphones on, so I don't want to get distracted by listening to the crowd cheers and this stuff. Okay, Mike Scioscia. Okay, Scioscia's in there. The Mad Dog, where is he? There he is. Come on, get in there, Bill. Okay, and then Mariano Duncan. Okay, looks like we're ready to rock. Both teams should have. What's this saying? Oh my God! All fielding. Oh, what am I missing here? I thought I had a thing. Yeah. What am I missing? It's got to be something that I'm missing with St. Louis. Oh, right fielder. Right fielder. Okay, so Van Slyke has got to be playing center. Just put center field for Andy Van Slyke. And who's going to be our starting right fielder here? Who am I missing here? Willie McGee. So I got two center fielders here. So let me see what what this is doing here. Sorry about this, guys. They're putting Van Slyke in left field, or that's what Strat's doing. So let's put Van Slyke in left. Okay. Cedeno is playing first. Boy, am I glad I looked at this. Okay, Cedeno's playing first. Jack Clark is in right field. And Willie McGee is in center field. There we go. Now we should be ready to go. And let's just blah. There we go. Okay. And just to show you guys I'm not cheating, let's play. Scrolling, yeah. So Will Tool, welcome in. Scrolling is God, my eyes tonight. I'm gonna cheat here for a second. La, da, 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 da. La, 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 la. All right. Is that Guthrian or Guthrin? I don't want to mess up your name. So I just got over eye surgery, man. So Guthrian, welcome in. Well, Tool Beatles just jumping on and watching from the beginning. Could you show to export import stuff from new action PC game into Paul Fay new? Oh, that's man. So that's a whole another broadcast. Will, all right, working with Paul's Guthrie. All right, we can do that. Great to see you, Guthrie. Welcome to the family. But yes, scrolling is definitely missed. So what I'm going to do here, guys, I'll show you just how I set this up when I play. This is how I play Strat Max. So I'm going to be rolling the dice here. I can't keep them both on the screen, obviously, but whatever the die result is in here, we're going to do in manual entry over here, and I want to be able to see you guys. So there we go. I think that works. And here's the new manual entry thing. And as Dave Gardner correctly, for some of the ballparks, this is going to cover the guy at first. I don't know that there's a way to resize this. You can usually resize everything. There's the new scoreboard. Looks great. There's the indicator, top of the first. So, Dave, I think where it was getting you was this information was different before. And I think Dave is probably long off to bed by now. He's got to work tomorrow, as do I. But I want to get in a few innings here with a couple games. All right, so Ozzie Smith leading off, and I'm going to roll this over in Strat Max, and I'll let you guys at least see the first roll. Okay, let's do it. And what do we got? Okay, this is going to be a single or a line out. And this is going to be a line out. All right, so he's going to line out to short to Mariano Duncan. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go line out, and it says fielder requested. Line out to short, go. And then there we go. Line out's recorded. Okay, we can see here 1 out. Okay, and now we got Tommy Herr up, and I'm going to roll this over in Strat on this side. Anytime somebody wants to see the Strat roll, you can let me know. But, trust me, please. Okay, so he ground out to third. So again, ground ball, third, go. Now I have the action, and I can turn this back on, by the way, if I want to. If I go to options and I go to rules, so right now I have the action PC mode, or I have there. So I can have these on, off, whatever. Okay, I have the action PC mode turned off. So that's why now we're going to turn it on and play with it a little bit. And now you're not going to see just insta plays there. Okay, so who do we got here? Willie McGee is up. And let's roll it up in Strat. Okay, is it going to be a home run or a triple? Either going to be a home run or a triple. And it is a triple. Now, here's where it could be really interesting. So it could be fun. So extra base hit, this might be stretched in an inside the park home run. Offense must decide to send or hold the runner. So he's got a safe chance of 58%. Okay. And these are just decisions you're going to make. So this is Willie McGee. Do I? No, he has a save chance of 85%, but I'm just going to say no. Okay. So there you can see he's got a triple. Long drive to left center. So we're going to hold him up first inning, right? And we're just going to go over here and hit 3B and go. And now you get to see it play out a little faster. So now Willie McGee's got a triple here and in Stratland, and there's 2 outs and everything matching up perfectly. Okay. And you see if I hover over the scoreboard here, do you guys see here? It says M-E-M-E-M-E, so manual entry. So we see that Ozzie Smith lined out to short. Tommy Herr grounded out to third. And I don't know why that's because the whole Dura thing. This is just a weird bug when you're playing. But I know who it is. It's Ozzie Smith. That's just a weird kind of bug that kind of hangs out here for some reason. But anyhow, we know that Ozzie Smith tripled, or Willie McGee tripled, and in fact, there he is. Okay? All right. So Jack Clark is at the plate in both games, and let's roll him. Let's roll him. Let's roll him. All right, and then Stratland, he's going to ground out to second, and that will retire the side, and LA will come to bat. So we'll just put up a ground out here. Ground ball, second, go. Okay, and that's it. Bottom of the first, and Los Angeles and Steve Sachs. You guys can see everything is matching up here. Okay, so it seems to be. I'm waiting for it to do something. I'm waiting for a strange, weird play to happen. But let's go ahead and we'll roll this here and do it. Boom. Okay, liner to short. So I'm just going to come over here again, line out, short, go. And you can see it even records that over here. And if I just hover over there, we see that he lined to short again. Ignore the Bobby Dora name. We're playing an exhibition game. So this isn't going to save any stats or anything. I just want to get a feel for how this would work if you guys were actually rolling real dice. Okay. All right. So here's Ken Landreau. And here is the pitch over there in Stratland. And he grounds out to first. So feeding on to Joaquin Andujar. So let me see. Let's do ground ball. Let's do ground ball. So here we've got just ground ball. And then we want, third to first, right? So, or pitcher to first. Okay, so that's right. We can make it a 3 unassisted, but we see here on the drop down, we know that this is it says Ken Landreau grounds out, first baseman Cesar Cedeno to pitcher, Joaquin Andujar. Okay, so he's grounding out, so this is going to be a 3-1. So just 3-1 instead of a 3 unassisted. Click go, and there we go. That's it. As soon as it brings up a range check for me, Deke, a range check, we will, but we haven't seen anything yet. I just didn't want to send Willie McGee on the home run because I'm sort of playing the game as well. Okay. So who do we got up here now? All right. Pedro Guerrero is at bat. And I think this works really, really nicely so far. Got to say that. Works nicely. And I am no veteran Strat player. It's been forever since I played Strat. And this is just going to be a strikeout. Pretty easy to do. And that will be the third out of the inning. Let's do a K and go. And he strikes out. And again, if we ignore all the sort of nonsense here, right? We just got Bobby Dora playing every damn game. So I really think that's just because weird things happen with exhibition games. So just ignore all that. But we do see that the it's working as it should, and I'm glad that we had that we could choose that it wasn't just okay. I'm just recording this as a put out at first, but rather I could record. Um, Now that being said, I want to check something because it's obviously in just about every other game I can check, I can check the box score, what's going on. So if I click here in Strat, I can see the box score, what's going on for the Cardinals and the Dodgers, right? Okay, let's go back to Dice. But what I want to see is in here what's going on. Okay, reports box. Okay. So what it's showing here is, where's our score sheet? So score sheet's working. Look at that. And we're doing manual input. There, look, it's showing Willie McGee's triple, and then, right, Jack Clark grounded out, Ozzie Smith line to short, Tommy Herr grounded out. So there you go. So for people that were wanting to know if this will track what goes on with manual entry, there it is. It's doing it. So you don't have to go back in later on and sort of create your box score. It's done. It's there. So very nice. It's playing very nicely. I don't even need to bring up the only reason I'm going to bring up a couple more baseball games was just to see. I'm just waiting for some weird play. But I'm also seeing that it's 10:35. So let's just keep going with this game. And I'll try to answer some questions. I will get to your as far as working with Paul's Baseball HQ app. Now remember, it's Pocket Pennant Run that works seamlessly with it, and Digital Diamond. Action PC doesn't work. Like there's not a button in Action PC Baseball for it like there is in Pocket Pennant Run. Which actually, you know what? I don't feel like setting another lineup. I was going to say we could do take an inning or two in Pocket Pennant Run, but we're doing it another night. But it doesn't matter what baseball game you're using. You can use Paul's HQ app. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and close this box score. Now we know that this works. And here we go. Cesar Cedeno. Let's do a couple more. This isn't like calling a game, but this is fun. It's actually pretty fun. I like this. All right, line shot to left. This will be a single for Cesar Cedeno. All right, so single. All right, and he's just going to first. But here's the neat thing. So you might get a single, but he's trying to stretch it to second. So what you would get here is a single, but when let's say he's trying to stretch it into a double and your game says he's thrown out, you would just hit second, out second, and that's it. Or if he makes it to second on the play, just click there. So that's really, really cool. Or if somebody was trying to stretch an inside the park home run, maybe you would start it as a double. And however the play ends up is what you want to record. So we just know that right now the batter, right? We know we have a batter on first. So go. Okay. And there. So Cedeno, and ignore where the ball is going right now. And boy, I don't know what the hell just happened there. Action PC just got really weird. That was an Action PC weirdness there. Oh, there it is. There we go. Come back here, you. Okay. So we got a runner on. Cool, cool, cool. All right. And Andy Van Slyke is up. And here's the pitch. Van Slyke draws the walk. All right. Just so you can see that. Yeah. Van Slyke walks. So BB, boink. And now it says we have runners on first and second. Working beautifully. Working really nicely. All right. Terry Pendleton is up. I keep wanting to do this over here. So if you mess up, by the way, you can hit R to reset everything. But if you get a weird player, you get a triple play, you hit E. And it says, they should have picked better wording. It says edit and pitching fielding stats. Really what this is the analog I think of as in pocket pennant run baseball when you have to do a manual out, because all the common outs are pretty much covered here, but you're going to have kind of weird things, and that's where you hit the E, and then you're going to set up who was involved in, like, your triple play, or the the 1-4-5 or 1-4-3 double play, or 1-6-3 double play, kind of the weird ones, or outfield assists, things like that. Okay. All right. So we got Terry Pendleton up in both ball games, and here we go. No score here in our little experiment of manual entry. Okay, here we go. We got a double play. So this is going to be a 5-6-3 double play. So let's see how it handles that. So we got a ground ball double play. All right. And fielder required. So this is third base. All right. And I think we should be good. Boom. Yep. So cool stuff. Cesar Cedeno on at third in both. So there you go. It works nicely. What about a rundown? Jeffrey, haven't gotten a rundown. And I mean, I could maybe just create one on here, but tonight's test is about how does this work with just with rolling a game. Now, I know in Pocket Pennant Run, we might be seeing something very, very different, obviously. But to set up the lineups again, Sunday night, I'm gonna set up 3 games in advance. This one, or Strat, and we're gonna set up Strat, Apago right next to it, and Pocket Pennant Run. We'll just keep switching innings around as best as I can. All right, and having some fun with it, because what matters is what's happening on the field. Doesn't matter. This isn't going to matter here as long as I keep these batting orders straight. But how would a rundown be handled? That's a great question. So I'm guessing in a rundown, and I'm only guessing that you're probably going to have to go here, Jeff, I think. So I'm as new to this game tonight, as far as this edition of Action PC Baseball, as all of you are. So if we get a rundown, I guess we'll find out. All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out and watching how this all seems to be playing out. All right, Tom Nieto is up, and let's go for it. So Nieto over here, this is going to be a fly ball to center field, and that will retire the side. So over here, fly out and center field, and go. And again, the chalkboard, I still have to work on which I should have turned on, turned off, what have you. So, and if I turn off the Action PC mode, it's just going to record the play really, really, really fast. Okay, so I'm showing bottom of the second to both games. Let's go back and let's look at the box score once again. Let's make sure everything is looking kosher. And indeed it is. Everything looking good here. So far, so good. So the integration's there. What Dave Gardner pointed out is when Mike Marshall's going to be up again, because we're doing this entire game as manual entry, unlike if we turn off, and I will turn it back on. So now if we turn it off, now we're back. Now we're just back in, and still Mike Marshall's not showing anything because he hasn't batted yet. But now we're in just the Action PC baseball engine. So you can turn this on and off at will. I suppose there'll be a use for that. But this seems to be working really, really nicely. I want to get more that's going to require the drop-down menu so that we can mess with it. All right. Here's Mike Marshall. And this is going to be a foul out to the catcher. Okay. So, foul out, catcher, go. Fly ball to catcher. Yep, I'm confirming it. That's it. Yeah, so that's neat that it wanted me to confirm that, because I could have just made it pop out to catcher, but it's going to record it much my own error, but fly out. So that's cool. All right, and here's Greg Brock. All right, and he strikes out. Okay, and so Mike Scioscia. So we are, I believe, no, we're going to start back at the top of the order. Okay, here we go. You got to make the sound effects. And here we go. An error on Tommy Herr. So that's cool. Let's look at errors here. So this is going to be an error. And who's the fielder, right? So Tommy Herr, so second base, and go. And there, Tommy Herr did the error. And second error for the 1985 Cardinals in the game. So, boy, this really looks. Hey, Mark, way to go, Robert. How you doing? So rundown, not a play result, but some games. So as far as scoring on a rundown, and I know Pocket Pennant Run does do rundowns. So that's one of the things it does kind of do. What game am I rolling with, David? I'm using Strat. I'm using Strat Max, but I'm not. This is the same as playing cards and dice. As confirmed by Tim, he says this is actually Strat and Super Advanced. So it's Strat Super Advanced. So. All right. So just running through its paces, David. It's doing a nice job. The extra little over here drop down menus and stuff we've had to use already, which is pretty cool. But it has a lot of things covered already. And of course I'm comparing it silently to the way Pocket Pennant Run does it. And so far so good. All right, so we got Bill Madlock here, and let's do it. And this is either going to be a single or a line out. And on the D20, it rolls a 15. So he's going to line out to Ozzy. So line out, shortstop, and go. And Ozzy, it's a web gem, baby. All right. Cool stuff, man. I'm surprised I'm keeping up with this. All right, here. We're in the top of the third now. And it's going to be Joaquin Andujar. Okay. I don't believe Andujar. Do we? No, we haven't even gone around yet. Okay. Doing two at a time. But I can see where this could be fun. I really do. So, Andujar strikes out. All right. So we're back here. So, here we go. So Dave Gardner did not see this. So it's almost going to work. Do you guys see this over here? Let me make sure I can see the chat. So, hey, Mike Sylvie says there's a crash every time you put in a lineup double play. Well, actually, that hasn't done that in a while, but no, this is it's playing really, really steadily. So right here is where it should say what Ozzy has done. And if we were playing using the engine in which you see it's not coming up because we're not using the Action PC engine, but it wants to show it. So I'm wondering if that's just going to be a pretty easy fix right there, because when I hover over it, the game wants to do what it is natively hard-coded to do for the last, 24, 25 years. So what I'm doing Forever Remain, I know everybody's wanting they're making their they're making their requests for types of hits and plays and stuff. I'm literally I'm rolling this in Strat Max. And whatever the result, because I want to really see for the cards and dice players what this is going to be like to play a game. So maybe Sunday night when we do this, I'll say, all right, it's all baseball request time. As long as you keep the plays viable, I'll do those. So for every May 90, joining us from Germany, it's been a long time since I've seen you. So your options to show the full chalkboard play after entering the result. Yeah, so what you do, slash deep. So wow, an old FOD member. How about it? Yeah, we got a nice little crowd tonight. Welcome in, everybody. So when you go up here, guys, to options and you go to rules, so you can have you have three choices here: manual play result, entry, start games with ME turned on. If you think you're going to use manual entry, just leave this on all the time. And then action PC mode. This looks like this is a little blend type thing. I could turn this off, but this is showing sort of the chalkboard type thing as you're doing it. However, the chalkboard looks great in a native game. For manual entry right now, it's kind of So, but I have this turned on right now. If I turn it off, all you're going to see is just the play result that's going to happen. Like the ball's going to like instantly go to Bill Madlock or Pedro Guerrero or what have you. But I have all three on because it might just want to throw a decision at me, and then I want to see how that works in that manual entry too. Okay. But yeah, for every May 90, I think it'd be a great idea, to put little bunts and stuff in there right now. But let's just see what I'm just rolling this as a straight old strat game. And tomorrow or next night or something, we'll do it in Apigo. Okay. All right. What do you mean old? We're all old, says Michael Silva. All right. Look, I'm going to take a minute here. Not even a minute. There are 32 people watching. And you 32 people need to know that Michael Silva, along with David Lando, SGJ Jamie, Jeff Hunter's input, Big Clue's input, he is doing a thing called the Big Beautiful Baseball Bash. And this is probably my only time to ever get to this many people to tell you very, very quickly about it. This is a project that Mike has set up, and it's a tournament of every team in baseball history from 1901 to 2024. Please check out his channel. He has, and just hit up Mike. Join the Discord. Join their Fields of Dreams Discord. I don't know if there's somebody here from that Discord that can put in an invite link. It's the most amazing, crazy thing you'll ever see. So Mike Silva is also the guy that brought us all the ballparks and the great uniform mods for Out of the Park Baseball, and such an awesome, awesome person he is. So there, had to get that in. All right, here we go. That's because because of just the choices, and I'm playing an exhibition game, and Action PC is notoriously squirrely with exhibition games, especially since I bunged this through legacy mode. So, gonna be a little weird. All right. Anyhow, who do we got here? We got Ozzie Smith. Let's do this. There's only been 2 hits in this ball game right now. There's a no-no going on, actually, and Ozzie strikes out. So boom and boom. And there's Valenzuela's pitch. Went really fast, but there it is. All right. So again, it wants to show what Tommy Herr is doing in this game, but it obviously isn't. And that's okay. So in Legacy, a guy can project to being better. I don't know that he can be a better than a 10 in the field, as that's kind of the highest thing. But what will happen in Legacy is the historical rookies will come in, and it uses the game's aging model as well. So there's going to be players, and some players will retire. We learned from Steve Tate that Roberto Clemente actually played until 1974 and then retired. So it's not going to try to rewrite, or it's not going to try to say, well, so-and-so died, like Thurman Munson in 1979. Well, he died, so he's going to die here. Or Lyman Bostock. Boy, this is sounding terribly morbid. But what it will do is the real rookies will come in, and it will have their stats, but it does bake in a bit of the alternate reality mode. And as the advertising says, his trajectory may not be the same as it was in real life. And so I think that's really fun. Are they all 11s? I never looked. Um, didn't look. So if they're 11s, that's cool. They go to 11. Cool. Yeah. So I guess they can. I guess they can. Um, so I downloaded and installed this game about 3.5 hours ago. So my knowledge of this edition of the game, I should say, is coming from about 2 hours of just screwing around with it. But so far, I think it's playing cards and dice baseball. It's doing really nice as a companion. And again, for those who are just joining, um, it's doing the box score really nicely, as we can see. And we're not using there we go. So we're not using anything. We're not using action. Uh, we're not using action PC baseball at all. This is just a board game companion to Stratomatic. Okay, so Tommy Her, and let's do it. Yeah, I do see Sax is showing 11. I guess I'm more paying attention to this. So, yeah, thanks, Robert. Thanks, guys, for showing me. Yep, shows the fielding range on the field. Yeah, I'm just not paying attention to that. I'm kind of paying attention to this. Tommy Her flies to left. So, all right, and left field and go. Okay. So, yeah, it's not showing that. It could be the exhibition game. I think the idea is right now just I'm trying to see if there's going to be anything that's weird happening, but in the course of an actual game. All right, and just trying to keep up with both of these is pretty fun. I think it'd be easier if you're rolling the die and you go boom. Okay, so single to center, boom, and boom, to center field, and there we go. So yeah, I mean, you can see the little ball out there, and there goes Duncan. He's got himself a single. So runner on. I don't know why it's doing that. Come back here. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, so you're right. There's Ozzy with an 11. Folks making me pay attention to stuff. Now notice, even though we're not using the Action PC engine, it's already moved the infield in. So that's pretty interesting right there. Now, I haven't done anything over here on the strat screen at all. Okay, so just so you guys can see, like for infield, if it's there, so it says set infield back. So the game in here, corners are in. So I mean, it's doing the same in Action PC, but that's just because that's sound baseball, right? You know, so they're looking bunt from Valenzuela. So I'm kind of glad that that's there. Though that's super cool, right? Okay, let's cancel that. All right. So let's go ahead and just roll it up and see whether Valenzuela is going to bunt, because I am, after all, playing strat. So I can't just straight up call a bunt. I got to roll the dice. Okay. If we were playing Apago, that's a whole different story. So pitch count. Oh God, trying to do this here. Pitch count is also in with ME on. So that's kind of interesting. But I think that's because I have the Action PC mode on. I could turn that off if I want. Yeah, oh my God, are you kidding me? This thing is so worth the money. This is the best. When you cumulatively look at everything out that what this game is added with the coach and the GM thing, um, also there the way the records look, leaders, all that kinds of the things. Um, yeah, oh my God, this is I think it's a great update. I'm more interested in the legacy mode, but I know we have a lot of cards and dice folks in the community, so it's kind of fun to see how this would play out. So what makes it confusing is, yeah, of course, I'm playing it on Strat Max, which is still recording everything I'm doing and putting it over here, but I don't have any room to really roll any dice here, so We just got to play along. So, but so Slash Deep Gaming says he paid $35 for the manual entry. I think that's a good deal. And David Lando says, and a few other things, he feels it's worth the money. And let's face it, David, man, David feels it's worth the money. This guy only goes to the best drive-throughs in the country. He and 1920s guy. All right. All right. Here we go to Valenzuela. Corners are in both games. Gotta love it. All right. So runner unable to get a lead. So Duncan was going to try to go here. Let's see what we got. Runner. Yeah. Okay. And let's go. See if we get a weird play out of this one. Batter misses pitch. Runner goes. Now, see, I have to decide. So we'll show you guys here. Here we go. Very often, stealing got Jose Altuve, the same amount of steals of 35. Okay. Baseball Max. Now it is, Bernie. Give me a second. Okay, so we have an attempted steal here. And he's got a 55. He's going to be safe on a 1-11. Let me see. Forget who we have here. Yes, Mariano Duncan. Let's just go ahead and let's have him throw for the runner and let's see what happens. Catcher makes the throw. And all right, he's safe. So that's a stolen base. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We just got to find stolen base. Where is it? There it is. Stolen base. Stole second. But maybe your game says he might have stolen another base wherever he is, but now it's showing the advancement of the runners. So click go, and we're going to see Mariano Duncan throw down, and he's safe. There you go. I could slow the chalkboard down, but not going to. So there we go. So it handles steals really easily. Everything working pretty well here so far. So I'm not keeping Max on the screen, Bernie, because it's making me seasick, but it's here. But I can pull it over anytime you want to see it, my friend. Okay. Anyhow, Valenzuela still at the plate. Here's the pitch. All right, and lays down a sacrifice bunt. So let's see what we got here. Let's see how we're going to record a sac bunt here. Let me see. This will be fun. Let me see. SB. No, that's a stolen base. Let's see. Balks, stolen pitch plus error. So, I wonder if this is where we're going to go to, because you're going to want to record a sac bunt unless it's over here. It's probably over here. And I think it's going to be it's going to call it an SH. That's what it looks like. As an old-timey baseball, those were sacrifice hits. Let's see if it does that. So out at first. And so let me see. We got a runner on third. So do I do this? Fielder required. And the bunt is to the catcher. If we did this right, Mariano Duncan should move to third. Valenzuela should have a sacrifice. And we did it right. We did it right, baby. Yep, thank you guys using the SH. So that used to keep that as a stat way back in the days. Like, so we have like sacrifice flies, but there was actually a thing called a sacrifice hit, which was not the same as a sacrifice bunt. That's why I had to think about this for a minute. I found an article about this. I forget where, but a sacrifice hit meant something different back in the 1920s than a sacrifice bunt. But nonetheless, we did it right. Had to think about it for a second, but we got it. We got Mariano Duncan to third, as you can see in both games. So there he is. There he is in Strat. And there he is in Action PC Baseball. All right. Let me bring my card back up. I don't like to play with I like the cards. Okay, here's Steve Sachs. All right. We got movement. Me like movement, says Slash Game. The other thing, Slash, is again, I'm playing this as an exhibition game, and I have the speed of the chalkboard cranked up fast. I think the chalkboard sometimes can be a little slow, so that might be playing into it. Let's slow it down a little bit. How about that? Okay. Video and sound. See, I've got it cranked. Let's bring it down and let's see if things will be a little easier to see. Okay. Try to accommodate as best I can. Okay. So Steve Sachs is up. So it's showing here that he's 0 for 1, but it's not showing his result there. So I'm guessing this is going to be a pretty easy fix. But at least we do see that Sachs is 0 for 1 in the game. So pretty cool. And we can't see exactly what he, I mean, if you hover over him, we can see what he did. But I do like that feature, and Dave Gardner's absolutely right, to be able to see what you normally would see in the Action PC engine, just to be able to mouse over, just like you mouse over here, and so on and so forth. And again, ignore Bobby Doerr's name up here. That's because we are playing in an exhibition game, and Action PC Baseball gets a little goofy when it comes to exhibition games. All right. Anyhow, back to it, and boom, here we go. Okay, runner on first, Steve Sachs. And he's going to ground out. So this is going to be a 2-3. 2-3 ground out is what Strat is calling it. So ground ball. And that should do it. Yep, that does it. And it also recorded the run in both, just because I know Bernie wants to keep me honest. So there we go. All right. Game situation all matched up real nice. So I'm having less glitches in this than I am in Strat Max. Strat Max has crashed on me like 2 or 3 times. That's why I mentioned that. But boy, they play nice together. I wish I had cards and dice games here where where I could hook up. I only have one, or I would hook up the thing and say, okay, we're going to play whatever this game is, and boom. The other thing, maybe if Bernie would be willing to do this. Oh, you're welcome, Slash Deep. He said, sweet movement, thanks. If I could get Bernie, maybe we do this on a Sunday afternoon or something. Bernie's got a ton of games. If he wouldn't mind rolling on his side, I'll bring up Pocket Pennant Run, and so that way that will help. And he can say, oh, that was, if he's playing, let's say, payoff pitch baseball, I can have the payoff pitch dice up there, or history maker baseball, or whatever. And we can try that experiment as well, if you guys would like that. This is just a test run. And at this rate, we're never going to get to the 9th inning. But boy, I love the look of the new Bobby Doerr's doing everything in this game. Anyhow, I love the look of the scoreboard now. I really do. I think it's a lot easier to read. Just something just this simple, but looks so elegant. All right, thanks, Bernie. Midlife brother, he says, well, what kind of ground ball was it in Strat? To the catcher, and the runner scored. Steve Sachs grounds out. Catcher Tom Nieto, first baseman Cesar Cedeno. Mariano Duncan scores. So there it is. It was the exact same thing. Yep. I'm sorry. I should have flipped that over here so you can see. And you can see everything is, look at both line scores, out situation, and I can look at the box scores in both. Everything's matching up, which is real nice. So, yep. All right. Who do we got? Ken Landro. And here we go. Experiments are fun. And this is a grounder. So this is going to be just a 4-3, and that will retire the side. Ground ball. And so there we go. So you can pick that here. So that could have been a 4-1, or, well, it's not. This case wasn't a 4 unassisted. We know this was a 4-3. So, but we have the drop down menu that becomes active when that play happens. So we just go boom and boom, and that's it. The only thing is it didn't go to second like it should have. But that's, again, I should have done a game in a, not an exhibition game at a regular season, but I wanted to just set lineups and have fun. Okay. Baseball demos. One thing I learned from direct entry: make sure you set it so the computer doesn't control base running or subs. Yeah. Also, enable delete last play. Otherwise, it's sweet. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Dave's right. David is absolutely right. So again, when I showed you guys up here under rules, now I'm leaving it on just because it's fun to be weird. Um, but if you turn this off, then this is just going to completely bypass the Action PC baseball, Action PC engine. But I'm leaving this on because I want Action PC to maybe offer me some chance that maybe Strat isn't, and I want to see if that will conjure up some sort of rare play. But that's pretty. That's, I would say that's from David. That's pretty high praise. I'm loving it, David. I really really am. And again, I think what's super cool is the box score is just, it's tracking. So that means it's gonna, this game is not going to track stats at the end. It's not going to save anything. But if this was an actual in-season thing, I just installed like 1985 just to screw around with it, a season I'm never going to play with, probably. But anyhow, having fun so far. David, what are any other thoughts on it thus far? I know, I think you bought it strictly for, I don't think you would actually, I don't know if you actually play Action PC baseball, but are you, is this for you just another thing to look at as a board game companion, or do you think this is something you might actually play as Action PC? Just kind of curious. I don't remember if you actually play this game or not. All right, we got Willie McGee up there, and we're probably just going to do one more inning or so. And this is a double, long drive to left center field. So Willie McGee not messing around here. So double, and boom to left. Boom. Yep, go. Hello. Okay, why is it being retarded? Weird, strange. Sorry for being politically incorrect there. It's not responding. I think that's my fault. Okay, so you do play Action PC sometimes, but direct entry is your thing. Okay, not responding. I don't know what I did. I think I made something blow up. So, yeah. Let's see if it's actually going to respond. If not, we'll just pick it up from where we are. But that's going to mess up our... No, it shouldn't, actually. Let's go ahead and close it. Let's close it. And no, I'm not going to report that. I'm just going to bring it right back up again. Am I going to do the stream some legacy play? Yeah, Guthrie, that's probably going to be later this weekend too, where we'll actually let it run through a season. So definitely. Let's see if we can pick up where we were. Shit, how do I do that now? It's been a while. Oh yeah, resume game. There we go. I believe it's this one. Is this where we are? I think we are. This is it. Double click. Yep, play. Just make sure we are where we're supposed to be. Okay, so yep. So Willie McGee hit a double. So we are there. So double to left and go. And I think we have a reproducible bug, folks, because it's not taking it. Because when I see this go down here, yep. So we found a bug. Isn't that awesome? How cool is that, man? It's trying to figure out what a double to left is. So David says, I'll test it out tomorrow with your new 1972 Strat set. Yeah, so David had a really nice unboxing today. So you guys should check that out. That was really cool. And it was definitely Christmas, not a lump of coal, David. But he says, I'll test it out tomorrow with his new 1972 Strat set. Playing opening day, Los Angeles and Cincinnati, and Strat using this game to enter play-by-play. I just make sure nobody hits a double to left because game just crashed again. Same thing. But because I'm playing this as an exhibition game in a legacy season that I didn't finish from the first one, I just had to bop to the next year. I think that has a lot to do with user error here because it really doesn't know what it's doing right now. So that's okay. It's getting a little bit late for me because I do have to work in the morning. So we're going to go ahead and close Strat. Boink. Yep, confirm. I want to leave. I do. I want to leave Strat, please. There we go. And just so you guys can see, I'm not cheating. I'm back to the Strat stream. Okay. So, is it? Okay. Yeah, could very well be. I can't tell you because it crashed. So, let's just close the program. So we have a reproducible crash. We just did it twice. And I'm proud of us. I'm proud of me. Oh my God. Still. This could be demoralizing for season stat keeping. What do you think? I don't think it's going to be. You're welcome, Barbara. And I will definitely feel better and have good sleeps too. Thank you, Whirlwind. We'll see you next time. I don't think so. I really, really don't think it's going to be. Remember, I was playing an exhibition game, and Action PC doesn't handle exhibition games very, very well. And see, it even says rookie or roster changes have not been made since creating this league. So that might not be a game. That might be just me being like a goof, right? So I mean, if I were to go back and do this in my 1971 project, and actually play a game, which right now, guys, is way too late to even start that. If this was tomorrow night, I would do it, and we could start with Phillies and Pittsburgh, and we could really, good night, Barbara, we could really put it through its paces. So bearing in mind that I was playing in the notoriously not so good exhibition mode in Action PC Baseball, and using manual entry, at least up until that crash, which could have been my fault, because trying to play in some legacy league or something, it played well. It seemed everything was really, really intuitive. And I don't think it's going to be, I think for stat keeping, this thing's going to be great. Again, provided that's not, and I don't think that was a bug at all. I think that was me rushing through legacy mode because I thought it was cool. I never even started the 1985 season. So, and it was Bobby Durer and all that stuff. And with exhibition mode, so theoretically in exhibition mode, I could pick any installed season I have in a team in that season and play. But as Steve Tate had taught us years ago, you got to make sure those teams are in the same league. But even so, exhibition mode is a little bit goofy. So I should have, my fault. I think I should have actually played this as a game. So, see, David Baseball Simmer says, I also noticed in the 2025 season file, which I haven't looked at yet, David, I should. The A's are called Sacramento, yet they were just the Athletics in actuality. I think because the game requires a city is my guess. So if we go to Boston and if we modify team, right? I don't know if you can leave the city blank. That might be it. I mean, because we could take this out and see. Yet they were just the Athletics in actuality. Yeah. You may have to, I think you have to have the city in Action PC Baseball. I think so. Okay. But I think overall, this is something that's going to be very viable, very good. And it was doing it. It was doing it right. And it was kind of fun to see how, with having, now again, I had the the Action PC engine turned on, which normally I don't think you would want to do, but I did. And it was fun to see it playing the corners in and looking over, and Strat had the corners in too. Again, naturally what you would do with a pitcher up and trying to, getting Fernando to get, who was it? Mariano Duncan, I think it was, getting him over to second. It was just kind of fun to see that. But the box score was working nicely. The line score thing. So I think they've got a great start that needs a couple fixes. I do. Game seems like a really big sandbox to explore. This thing? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, my God. So we did our first McGreevy League in Action PC Baseball. But, like, just create a new blank league if you want to see. Just real quick, David, let me show you this. So let's do something really quick here so I can show you just how fun this is. Utilities. Let's create a new blank league. Enter a folder. Let's call this test. What is this? The 19th still. So, and I'll put it in American notation. 1219. There we go. Create folder. Okay. So we can start here, and this is where the fun starts. So again, we're just going to call this test league. God, I have so many of these in here now. National. You can call these anything you want. American. Okay. Then you can start importing teams, David, into anything that you have installed. So if I wanted to take Steve Tate's American League 5 years franchises, open this up, and let's say I want to bring in, for instance, the 1934 Yankees, the what? I don't know. 1914 Red Sox, let's say, and the 19 and I apologize for my bad eyesight, everybody. The 1985 or 1905. Oh, I can't see shit, man. There we go. Let's there. All right. Boom, and just import them. Okay. And then I don't want them in the National League, obviously. So I'll just gonna drag everybody down into the American League. Wherever I want them is where they're going to go. Okay. But we're not going to spend too much time on that. And then we have imported them. Yep. And exit. And then I can still move these guys around and stuff, but just how quickly you can start setting up leagues and stuff like that. So, again, there we are. There's our Yankees from 32 to 36. There's Boston Red Sox from 1912. And it's also very easy then to go to these rosters and then just import players as well, if you wanted to. So we could go to, let's say, 1971, okay, and then go to Detroit. And then if I wanted to, I could bring in Norm Cash onto this team. You talk about a sandbox. There you go. So lots you can do. Absolutely. Lots you can do. One of this can be used to create your fictional history maker league and input your Ticonderoga Stooges game. So to what, I guess my thing, David, would be to what extent would you be talking about doing that? Because there's no way right now that we know of that you can actually put in player ratings such that you can see them on the field. But that being said, Steve Tate was doing this kind of trick with the major league equivalencies as he did with the Negro League players. So let's bring up Vita Blue. Okay. And is this, where is it? Or do we have to look at Vita Blue in a different way? I think we have to look at it in a different way. So we look at his, like, the notes section is what we want. So let's bring up the entire, let's bring up the Oakland A's here. Okay. There we go. Notes. So if what I was thinking, I was was for now you could use this note section when you look at player cards. You can see that. So instead of center field, right, we can like there. See how we can make notes about Rick Monday. So and you can create players in Action PC Baseball. So you absolutely could do that, or use real players, whatever you set up. Because remember, this game, just like Pocket Pennant Run or Digital Diamond, it doesn't care what game you're playing. So the only thing would be is if you need to see those ratings on the playing field, because you can always look at the player's ratings, so you're going to have them on your card. I like to think of games that do this like this, and Pocket Pennant Run and Digital Diamond, as kind of what they are, assistants, rather than you're bringing in that game, whether it's Strat or Appa or Pine Tar Baseball or any half a dozen. But I don't see why you couldn't do it. Okay, if you don't need to use ratings, of course you could. You could definitely do it. So let's I don't know, let's do something with the Detroit Tigers. So look, players, create player is all I did in roster. There you go, David. So if you're talking about fictional players, and you wanted to, I mean, I'm not talking about anybody that played in the major leagues, go ahead. So you could create players in this game even, and after you put in all the stats or whatever, it will create ratings based on those stats, and the ratings that are generated in Action PC Baseball are really for us at a glance. The game doesn't use the ratings; it's stat driven, and it's beyond the scope of this. But if you just wanted to bring in and import players um, into this fictional league, but it's a fictional league that uses real players. Yep, all you got to do is just own the seasons. And I tell people, if you don't want to buy all the seasons for this game, just get the baseball history collection. And there's just humanly infinite things you can do just with that. And it was going for $9 on Black Friday, so it's still going for a good price. So yeah, it could. At the end of the day, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I really do, because again, yep, you guys knew that was inevitable. I'm going to bring up this other little guy here, um, just as just to show you if it wants to boot up. There you go. It's Pocket Pennant Run. So Pocket Pennant Run, and you have to make comparisons, I think. Like Action PC Baseball is a baseball game. If I bring up Digital Diamond Baseball and put all three of these on here, they are all baseball games, but all three of them also act like board game assistants. And the only difference really in terms of input, so Pocket Pennant Run and Action PC Baseball both do it by just clicking and entering the play result, whereas Digital Diamond Baseball, you've got to learn the syntax. But they don't care what game you're playing. I could play a game in here and put the results in here or wherever. I love that we have this opportunity now to do all this kind of stuff. Let me hide that. So David says, plan to get 1920, 1962 season, since you don't have those on Strat PC, but you have the Strat cards. That's cool. Yeah. So you definitely could do it, and you saw how easy it was to do it. If you own the seasons, and we don't need this up here anymore. If as long as you own those seasons, it's super easy to import those players. And even with that little test league that I did, I could have created a bunch of fake names and then just imported the players. The only thing you have to remember that you're to do, David, is when you get the 1920 and 1962 seasons, just make sure you install them in Action PC Baseball. Because like if I go here, or if I go here to season, you can see just this is not, or like down here, believe me, this is not even close, right, to everything. I never installed. I would be scrolling and scrolling forever here, but you do have to make sure that the season's installed. Then you can use teams, players, whatever you want. So yeah, you could do it. Pretty easy. And right now, I think all the seasons are on sale. I think that'll be fun. So you're going to do that in Strat, and you're thinking about using Action PC then as kind of the organizer. Hmm. So David, what you've just done there, you talk about thinking outside the box. I like, because that's why I'm a real big fan of yours, because you won't just do a straight season replay, but you'll come up with these other ideas with your cards and dice sets. And here's a way that you can do that and still not have to get in this big mess, because you can set up Action PC to kind of do all the right. You're putting in the players and what have you, and that's gonna save you a lot of times. Yeah. By decades is the cheapest way to go. / deep gaming is absolutely right. Let's pop on over as we get ready to start winding things down. Let's go to baseball, and let's go to shop. Shop. Always sales, man. There's always sales. This crazy guy. I mean, look, the game is out and it's still on sale, so you can still pick it up. You want to save. You want to buy. You want to buy the game. You want to just get the basic game. Get the game. But let's look at baseball. Let's look at baseball seasons. And let's look at baseball decades, complete decades. Give it a second. So right now, pretty good deal on decades. And when you compare this, even his whole, even at full price. So let's say you wanted to buy all of the you wanted to buy the complete 1980s decade. So regularly it's $95. Go and see what it would cost you to buy 1981 to 1989 in PC Replay Baseball. It's going to cost you more than $95. It's going to cost you 200 and what, 70 some dollars to get that decade normally. But this is on sale, $68.97. You're never going to pay that, right? I mean, I don't care, any game that you have, any digital game that you have to buy seasons for, like this one, you're not going to be able to get a whole decade in Diamond Mine Baseball for this cheap. You're not going to be able to get them in National Pastime 3 this for this low price. Even his regular prices are just crazy. That's why I like to buy just regular. So 10 seasons of baseball for $68.87. Great stuff. So $45 are the best deals now. Use them to get that. Used to get them for $28. So, now again, right. So the 1910s not going to have as many teams, but so what? Still compare prices all over the place. Their best of sets are really, really good too. So again, I defy you to find these for a better price anywhere, even at full price. He's got the best prices and just the best customer service. The top of the broadcast, I was talking about the only time you would use a zip program to unzip seasons is if you buy one of these collections. Then you have to do that. And I know a lot of people would be like sticker shock at this one, but if I had it to do over again, while I would buy it the way I did it, piecemeal, a season here, a decade there, if I had to start over again, I would get this for $650. This is right. Its regular price is over $2,000. 159 seasons of baseball, 1880 to 2024, and you get an extra 20% off of that. So I would do it all over again, and then you're done. Bob's your uncle, man. Love it. Yeah, 20. So right now, so he's kind of in keeping with a lot of other places. $29 for the season for the 2024 season. 2025 season is only available in the game right now, I guess. So if you bought the game, you're good. Look at individual seasons, man. So Dave, David, you're talking about buying 1962 and 1920. So let's see how much 1920 is going for right now. $9.50, and 1962 is. And did I just click on the 1970s? No, there we go. So $9.50. So there you go. $19, and you can start your thing. Don't forget, there's a 20% discount. Yes. Free purchase, $100 or more. Mixes, I just beat them to it. Yeah, $9.50. Regular price, $19. Still anywhere $7 to $10 cheaper than the digital competition. So $19, David. They're saying, buy me, buy me, buy me. There it is. So the other thing I got to say that what I like about digital baseball is you don't have to, like, if you buy the 1965 season, you get all the players that played in 1965, not just the 25-man rosters. So someday Print and Play Baseball will maybe do that. Yeah. So decades. Yeah, absolutely slash deep. So decades come out to about $7 a season. I mean, shit, you can't beat it, man. And it's a damn fine baseball engine too. It's not like he's putting out crap and that's why the seasons are so cheap. The guy gives a damn about the community. He really, really does. So I would say if you like anything you saw, you want to try the legacy mode, you want to try the input mode, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, get the basic game. It's just get the very basic game. It's on sale if you want. So right now, $39.60. If you owned a previous version of it, you'll get an additional, I think, 10% off with code CY. David says he's a cheapskate, but even he'll spend $19. Exactly. So, yeah, there you go. Current baseball game owners save an extra 10%. So on top of the sale price, take another 10% off of that. So that's about $4 that you're getting off of that. So what you can get the basic game, the basic Action PC 2026 baseball game for like $34. And I think that's a great deal. This is the one I got this year, was the I think I bought the deluxe one this year. So yeah. What else can you say, man? I would go all on this game again and again and again. It's gratifying to see that they're getting more and more Negro Leagues done. They still got a long way to go to get them all done, but it's still nice to see it's getting there now. So, yeah. So how Richmond would have a cardiac episode of Strategy Sale like this, so would John Herson. In fact, John Herson, right? John Herson doesn't believe in sales. He has famously said that I don't like sales because it would make people upset. If they bought something and then somebody bought it on sale, that wouldn't piss me off. I'd be like, hey, dude got lucky, man. And I spent X amount of dollars on this and he got it for X amount of dollars less. Good on him. I just wasn't vigilant enough. And he's, I don't know, it's got people, it's like whatever. It just doesn't make sense to me. But there you go. I wonder, but how Richmond though? Kind of funny you say that, David, because Strat Max has every baseball season going back to 1871, and if you subscribe to it, you got them all. So I wonder if they bother telling Hal about Strat Max. So Hal, you do know that, and you can see every card, and in fact, so Tim, you guys are a Tribe fan. He said, "Oh, bring up Roberto Clemente's card, 1972. I'm going to compare it to his actual card." And he said, "It's the actual card." So, I guess nobody informed Hal. Nobody informed Hal that Strat Max has everything. Um, which is funny because APA Cards and Dice has every season, but um, APA Go doesn't. It only goes back to 1904, I think. I think I'd have to boot it up and see or go to the site. So I don't know. Any questions? I mean, thoughts, whatever. I think the again, I think the manual import port works really, really, really well. And no, we didn't see any weird plays, like super weird plays, but I think I think it's viable. It's very good. Very, very, very good. So I had a free shipping offer. They would require the discount code ID Jester. Required watching the Jester rants. How about it? Oh man, that's funny stuff. I think everybody in the community, right? They know they know about that infamous rant on about Strat PC baseball. Phew. And yeah, I mean he wasn't knocking. Well, I don't know how he feels about like Stratomatic as a game, but I had to agree with him. The PC game, they just really need to just retire it or recode it or something because baseball for Windows kicks its ass in every way. Um, it just does interfaces better, and it's modular, just much better job. And I contend easier to navigate. It's not that APA or Strat is one or is better than the other, but in terms of the game engines, they're both fantastic. But that Strat PC game is painful, man. Oof. Yeah, exactly. It's priceless, Robert. It's priceless, man. So manual input sold slash deep gaming. I was going to buy the damn thing anyhow. I'm glad to see the manual input because I do want to do more. I am doing more stuff like again on here just with Strat Max and Apago and pocket pennant run, so I can at least pretend I'm rolling dice. But the thing I'm really excited to get into is the legacy mode, and I also like the fact that again, how the leader screen just looks smexy, man. This is like Kate Beckinsale level, yeah. So good stuff. Good stuff. I just hope someday Dave will let us actually scroll. Just let us scroll, man. They, I don't know if Dave has something against against you know scrolling or not, but oh, by the way, any screen that you have up for a lot of these things, you can you can set as your opening screen when you fire up Action PC Baseball. I forgot to tell you that um, interesting little thing. Also, David, you'll be interested in this. Dave only uses arrow keys. I think you're right, Guthrie. Um, so if you're creating a league and if you want to go nuts, you got lots of spots to do it now. This has been around for a while. Steve Tate was wanting them to expand this even more, so I don't know that that happened yet. But so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Free agents are right there where you want them. So there's all 1971's free agents and all that stuff. Love it. Output stuff to CSV files, which means somebody was asking, was Will Tool, this is what you would use to work with Paul Fay's Baseball HQ app. Is you would create the CSV file, export it, and then import it into Paul's app, and Bob's your uncle. So, but David, you're absolutely right as far as rabbit hole, because from here I can create a draft league out of this. If I wanted to, I could create new teams. Oh my God. Again, I'll say it. This one and Out of the Park Baseball are the only two digital games you would ever need. Dave only uses arrow keys. We've been wanting scrolling forever in this game. I know I have. And a bunch of people say, oh my God, I got to drag in 2025. I can't use my mouse wheel. Are you kidding me? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Just got to love it. and play it. What time is it? Oh, 11:43. All right, we're good. So, just curious, anybody out there watching? We got 28 people hanging out for a while. Who's planning? If you would just type Y if you are going to, for Y for yes. Who out there is planning on using this for some cards and dice products? Just curious, or projects. We'll start there. Slash Deep says working. He says he's working, and let's comment this up. He says he's wondering in Legacy if I didn't play 100, or if I didn't play a 10 overall player for the season, will he drop dramatically? Hmm, that's a good question. I think that'll be something fun to investigate. Okay, so Slash Deep is saying yes, he's planning on using this with a cards and dice. What about anybody else? Come on, it's got to be more than just one person out of 28. And trust me, folks, this isn't about trying to build the channel or anything. It's a family. I just want to kind of get a sense of what people are doing. I think a lot of us that play digital baseball, or almost strictly digital, Legacy is going to be the thing that we're really going to be getting into. And in fact, I'll be using Legacy as we go through 1971 and see how it goes into 1972. Okay, let me see. So Robert says depends if Pocket Pennant Run works good enough for cards and dice entry. So the latest update dropped last night, and I played a bit of it offline, and it seems to be doing fine. But I'm not going to chance anything tonight with this thing crashing out a couple times now. I don't want to accidentally, if I bring up Pocket Pennant Run. But have you messed with Pocket Pennant Run very much, Robert? Because with that, you have it'll have the outs, but then you might, when you get strange plays, you have to do a kind of manual entry. Still not bad. Yeah, build that channel. So that's why I never ever ask people to like or subscribe. It's your choice. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. I just hope you had a good time. The important thing to me is if people come in here, you get to talk baseball or whatever. It's all good. Okay, so you have. So, I mean, to be fair to Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, it's a relatively new game. Most massive database out there of any baseball game. And is going to crash. Yep, we just saw this crash twice. Now, that could have been my fault. I don't know, but it crashed at the same time in the same situation. I've seen this game crash. It's going to happen. I've never seen a game that doesn't. Out of the Park actually froze on me twice. Out of the Park's never crashed on me, but it's frozen on me like twice or three times. It's a pretty stable game, but as long as I can get back into the game, which in Out of the Park baseball, you can't. If the game freezes or crashes, that's it. But if this, right, with this, you can. And there will be patches. Yes, it does have all the seasons and then some. It's got all the Negro leagues. It's got Japanese League baseball. It's got Korean baseball, the All-American Girls Professional League. Where Out of the Park beats it is Out of the Park has all the minor leagues. So that's the one area that Out of the Park, I think, beats it. Now the Park doesn't have Japanese baseball anymore. Do you think this may be better? I think they're both good because I think they're both good baseball games. And again, I think when we see the more granular ratings are going to be happening next year at some point in Pocket Pennant Run baseball, and it gets more and more refined. I think it's a very, very, very good baseball game. A-tier baseball game, it really is for me. Action PC is missing 1871, 1879, and because we wanted to expand the Michael McGreevy League, that's why one of the reasons we're not using Action PC is that reason right there. The other reason is this doesn't have player development lab, and that player development lab in Out of the Park baseball is really a serious shite, lads. I'm telling you, it's really serious, good stuff. And we wanted to try that in the context of a keeper league between for the years 1871 to 1919, and out of the park baseball is the only one that is going to allow both. No other team will. Yep. Hence, out of the park for the Michael McGreevy League. Exactly. So, Mick, you still have time to join. Because of this eye surgery, I got a little bit behind getting the rosters in. I really wish you'd think about it. It's just going to be just fun. And a ninth team would be awesome. I don't think you're ever going to see dice input for out of the park baseball. I've been saying that a lot the past 4 or 5 days. That's not that game's jam, if you will. That they're not going that way. I don't. Why would you? I don't think that I think out of the park needs to be what it has been, is developing continually into this incredibly complex digital game, and I think it's going to be the one that's going to be the first with announcers. I really, really do. I don't have any private information on that. I do beta test with it, but I haven't heard anything. But I just got a feeling out of the park baseball will be the first one to do it. Why not? Why not? I hope tonight's video helped people as far as the early part, going through how to install the game, where things go, the importance of the DK Sports Directory, how to work with ballparks, because ballparks are the goofiest thing to work with in action PC baseball. If this game has a turn off for some people, it's ballparks. So, but the improvements are really, really good in this game this year. It's significant, significant. Um, let's see. So Jeff says he's going to input History Maker Baseball fictional Century League players via CVS import already have the stats reverse engineered in Strat for its manual entry. He said he'd use Action for Legacy for that. That's super cool. Okay, nice. Oh, thank you, Race Hot Wheels. Guys, subscribe to that channel, by the way. If you dig Hot Wheels, and come on, who doesn't? We all had Hot Wheel cars. Some of us still do. Some of us wish that when I moved back to Europe, I left a huge collection of Hot Wheel cars back here. So I subscribed to his channel last night, and it's super cool. And he's got a great voice, man. Great voice. You've got to get him to do some baseball on his channel or something. Race Hot Wheels and play baseball. I don't know. But really, really fun channel. So subscribe to it. And you're very welcome. What a fun channel. He's got all kinds of, and because I'm like last night, oh, so are you using Hot Wheels Unleashed and Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, which are really good computer games, by the way. But he uses the actual Hot Wheel cars, and he must got one hell of a collection of them. He's got it's awesome. So check it out, relive it, and maybe for some of you that still have your Hot Wheel cars, you might get inspired. Robert says that Strat has manual entry, but it's archaic like the computer game with 1990 software. Amen. Yeah, it's. Will they even rewrite that game? I doubt it. Why should they? They've got Strat Max rocking now. So Ian's still with us, man. He's still hanging out. He says, I didn't hear earlier Beatles, but was there a way to view transactions like trades, etc. in Action PC? Oh, God. That's so they have all that stuff built into the seasons. But Ian, I would have to ask Steve Tate. Unless there's another Action PC beta tester hiding in here that I don't know about, because Steve and Andrew aren't here. I think there's a way you can look at those, because I know it has them. I'm not really sure how to look at them, but I know that they're built into the season. So 1971, these transactions will happen on the calendar when they happen. I'm just not sure how to view them. And I think Steve could give us that answer. I don't know if I look up here on reports. Let me see. Leagues. Hitting streaks manager highlights. maybe hiding in one of these things or something. I guess teams, roster analysis, team reports, team compare. I know they're in here. I don't know how to find them. And there's that Reds Braves game again. Holy hell. All these great game choices, says Stick Tap Sports Network. Another excellent um, channel. He says makes him feel like a Soviet. We gotta put this up here. Soviet era babushka seeing an American grocery store for the first time. Man, that is good stuff. But you know what? What's the saying in humor? There's also veracity, and you're right. I mean, it's like, oh my God, what do I buy next? What do I play next? What do I do? You're absolutely right. And now the games are I think closing that what sometimes feels like a chasm between cards and dice and digital baseball gaming. Um, that's always a welcome thing, and so I'm really glad that Dave got into the manual entry thing. But again, I think the legacy mode is just as cool, just as cool. There you go. Okay, that's quote of the night right there. That's it. I don't think we've ever had any reference in the entire history of this baseball family that we've created of any reference or any analogy whatsoever to a Soviet era babushka. So should change this channel from Beatles Eternally, because I'm sure I've hunked off a lot of Beatles fans because there's nothing about the Beatles on this channel, though they are my favorite band. Maybe I should call it Babushka Baseball or something now. Stick Tap Sports Network. You got me thinking, man. You got me thinking. So I do want to thank everybody for coming in and for allowing me to not only go through the basics for maybe people that are new to Action PC Baseball, but allowing me to try that little experiment with manual entry and strat and and I think the crashes were probably my fault, but it did well for 6 innings. I think they've got a great product here. Is it perfect? Nope. I don't think the perfect game is possible unless you're Don Larson in the 1956 World Series, I suppose. But there's no perfect baseball game out there. But that's good. That's good because these developers are going to keep pushing, and they're all going for our metaphorical and our literal dollars, right? In a very niche part of the gaming world. I mean, go on Steam and you're going to see out of the park baseball and you're going to see digital diamond baseball. And I mean, some games like this wouldn't work on Steam. I mean, it would. He selling this on Steam, Dave really wouldn't be able to make any money. But there's so many, and so many. What the hell? I've got to ask them why that Reds game and Cincinnati game keeps. I'm going to quit clicking there. I'll click there. Yeah, I'm definitely glad. You're very welcome. I know there's a lot more questions people have, and Robert, you're very, very welcome. And hopefully we can get maybe Steve Tate on here some night, or maybe he'll do it on his own channel. Simtistics with Steve Tate is the name of his channel, and he is a veritable guru of Action PC Baseball. Can't beat it. So either tomorrow night or Sunday night. So got lots of baseball plans for this weekend, depending as the eyesight it does improve. I hope. I will finish putting in the rosters for McGreevy. So those of you who are going to be in the Michael McGreevy League, please in the Discord by tomorrow night, have your ballparks in. Running with it. I am. Babushka baseball, baby. I'm telling you. I think we're tired of the Beatles eternally, man. I'm not. I mean, I love the Beatles, but I don't want to piss off my Beatles brothers and sisters and brothers, man. Yeah, come on here. Well, so Beatles Anthology just came out, and I'm wondering if a couple people subscribed because they thought they were going to hear about Anthology 4, and instead they're hearing about the Cincinnati Reds, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and era normalization for a dead ball baseball league. Maybe time to watch some Kate Bush videos. Running up that hill. Yeah, how about it? With David Gilmour, too. Um, so there will be that. I also want to try this again with this 1971 season, and we'll do it with the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Philadelphia Phillies on their opening day. So April, what? So 6 April 1971. We'll play these two, and we'll do them. We'll pick a game. It could be Strat again, could be Apago, whatever, and we'll play the whole game in manual entry, and look at stats at the end and see how it's going to work out. And then at the end of this 1971 project, then that's when we're going to do Legacy. So that's it. I've held you all hostage enough. And mea culpa, me dispiace, lo siento. I don't know how to say I'm sorry in any other languages, but at least those. Oh, in Dutch, het spijt me. There we go. And that's pretty much it. So many of you to thank. Stick Tap Sports Network. Thank you for coming in. Slash Deep Gaming. Good stuff there. Another subscribe. You got to subscribe to that one. Robert, thank you very much. Hope you'll come back. Ian Chow, good to see you again. Race Hot Wheels again, guys. You got to check out the channel. Jeff Ray, my fellow Bucco fan. We made a big pickup today, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Charrington going out on the market now. We got us a hell of a player. Mick, thank you, man, for coming in. As always, Mick's awesome. Guthrie, I hope you'll come back and see us. Thank you for coming in. We always got something going on here. David, Baseball Demos. Great channel. He'll be playing a game tomorrow. 1972 Strat. Got to tune in and check that out. Midlife Crisis was here for a while. Thank you, Midlife, buddy. Bernie Strom, he's my partner in crime in the Diamonds and Dice podcast. Dreamed up by him, by the way. David Lando. Thank you, David. 1920s guy. Michael Silva, creator of the great ballpark and uniform mods for Out of the Park Baseball. Got to get those. If you play Out of the Park Baseball, if you don't play those, you're not playing Out of the Park Baseball. And let me see. Jeffrey Hunter was here. Forever Remain 90 checked in. Jamie checked in. I'm sorry I missed you, Jamie. He's long since gone, I'm sure. Trying to get everybody here. Mark was here. Thank you, Mark. DK all the way here from Malaysia. So thank you. Will Tool was here. Our Whirlwind Barbara. Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew RW603. Thanks, buddy. Todd B was here. Sorry I didn't get a chance to say hi, Todd. I got all OCD. Dave Gardner was here. Dave Gardner did a nice run through of Action PC tonight. You guys want to check that out? Along with Ron Juckett. Michael Peterson was here. Thank you, Michael, for hanging out for a while with us. Brother Jack Dawson was here. Thank you, Brother Jack. He's usually the first one in the old ballpark. Arnold Hunter was here for a time. Thank you, Arnold. And did we get everybody? Yep, we did. So that's it. Rest those eyes. I shall. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Guthrie. Until the next time, everybody, see you around the batting cage.